If you're one of the 7% of the human population who have negative Rh blood, you are part of an ancient bloodline that goes back thousands of years. A bloodline that has remained shrouded in mystery with very little known about its origins or history. The truth is, science has yet to discover where the negative blood group came from, meaning that those with negative blood could actually be extraterrestrial humans who came to Earth long ago. We know that may sound like a crazy theory, but hear us out before you rule it out entirely. There are many things that science doesn't know about our world, and there are certain things that we still don't understand about the makeup of our own body. The fact that science has been able to explain the origin of negative blood just yet proves this point. So, with that said, let's dive into what science does and doesn't know about negative blood. Welcome back, everyone! Today, we'll be looking at some startling evidence that suggests humans with negative blood are on from this planet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We always appreciate when you do that for us. And then turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Now, let's begin. Rich negative blood. First off, let's look at what makes up the different blood types. When you donate blood, your blood type will either be a B or O. This classification depends on whether your blood contains certain antigens, which are markers on the surface of your red blood cells. If your blood has A antigens, your blood type is A. If your blood has B antigens, your blood type is B. If your blood has both A and B antigens, your blood type is AB. And if your blood has neither A nor B antigens, your blood type is O. In addition to these four blood types, blood can also be either positive or negative, depending on whether the blood contains a protein called the Rh factor. If your blood contains the protein, your blood is positive. If it doesn't, your blood is negative. People with negative blood are extremely rare, and scientists haven't been able to figure out why. In fact, according to Medical Daily, only 7% of the global population has negative blood, while 38% of the population has positive blood, and the remaining 55% of the population has a positive, B positive, or AB positive blood. So what makes negative blood so rare? Scientists don't know. But one thing they do know is that people with negative blood contain no recessive genes for the Rh factor, meaning that both of their parents had to have negative blood for them to have negative blood themselves. This lack of recessive genes could mean that the negative bloodline is ancient, going back thousands of years. Because if the gene had appeared more recently in evolutionary history, there would likely be more recessive genes for it by now. Ancient bloodline. Researchers working with the Journal of Transfusion Medicine found another interesting piece of evidence that suggested that people with negative blood could be part of an ancient bloodline. They discovered that the further away a population is from where most of the world's negative blood is found, the less negative blood there is in that population. For example, in Europe, only 9% of the population has negative blood. In Africa, only 1% has negative blood. And in Asia, less than 1% has negative blood. This pattern led researchers to believe that the original group of humans with negative blood all lived in one place, and from there, people with negative blood spread out across the globe. Unfortunately, science doesn't know where this original group lived or how long they were around. But the researchers did find one other interesting piece of data that provided some clues. According to the World Health Organization, the country with the highest percentage of negative blood is El Salvador, with nearly 20% of the population having it. Researchers believe that this high concentration of negative blood in El Salvador could indicate where the ancient group lived. However, they wanted to narrow it down even more, so they studied two groups of people in El Salvador, one from the highlands and one from the lowlands. They found that 26.6% of the highland residents had negative blood, whereas only 6.5% of the lowland residents had negative blood. Because of this stark difference, researchers believe that the area in El Salvador with the highest concentration of people with negative blood could be where the blood type originated. But again, science hasn't been able to confirm this just yet. Where did they come from? So where does all of this leave us? What does this research tell us about the origin of negative blood? Well, for starters, it tells us that the blood type has likely been around for a very long time. After all, if it's an ancient bloodline, members of that bloodline would have had to have reproduced successfully over thousands of years in order for the blood type to survive until today. It also tells us that people with negative blood may have come from a small group of humans who all lived in one place thousands of years ago. It's possible that when this group split up and migrated to different parts of the world, they took their blood type with them. But it also tells us something else, something that science hasn't been able to figure out just yet. Researchers found so much evidence that pointed to the fact that negative blood is ancient that they started looking for historical records that mentioned a bloodline with unique blood. They found one such record in the Bible. In the book of Exodus, it says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he wouldn't let the Israelites go. Then it says that after God hardened Pharaoh's heart, Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh and told him to let the Israelites go. Pharaoh agreed, and the Israelites were free. But there was a problem. After the Israelites left Egypt, Pharaoh changed his mind and sent his army after them. In the book it says that when the Israelites saw the Egyptian army approaching, they panicked and cried out to God for help. God responded by doing something miraculous. He parted the Red Sea so that the Israelites could escape through it. But when the Egyptian army tried to follow them, God closed the sea and the pursuing soldiers drowned. Some people believe that this story has a deeper meaning. They believe that the Israelites were actually referring to an ancient bloodline, a bloodline with unique blood that helped them escape the Egyptians. These people were supposedly born with negative blood, and they used their unique blood to help them escape from their enemies. However, this is just a theory. There is no way to prove that the Israelites had negative blood, extraterrestrial origins. So with all of this in mind, could it be possible that humans with negative blood aren't from this planet? Maybe. Think about it. If the negative bloodline is ancient and humans with negative blood contain no recessive genes for the Rh factor, then maybe they are part of an ancient group of extraterrestrials who came to Earth thousands of years ago. This group would have been small, maybe consisting of no more than a few hundred individuals. Over time, they would have reproduced and formed a unique bloodline, one that would survive until today. It is possible that this is the group that the Bible refers to when it talks about the Israelites, a group of people with special powers who are destined to do great things. Of course, this is just a theory. There is no way to prove that extraterrestrials once walked the Earth, much less that they had negative blood. However, this theory does raise some interesting questions. Questions like, if there are extraterrestrials among us, how many are there? And are they living here on Earth right now? Unfortunately, we may never know the answers to these questions. But one thing is for sure, humans with negative blood are part of an ancient bloodline that goes back thousands of years. And until science figures out where the negative blood group came from, we can't be sure if they're really from this planet or not. Do you think that people with negative blood are extraterrestrial? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.